Okay, this is a Leonardo da Pinchy. It's a bodyweight Tabata workout. Great for overall fitness. Some of the progressions require dumbbells, so if you want to increase the intensity and you have access to dumbbells, then there is that additional dimension of this routine that you can explore. All of the exercises are done for 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, alternating that work-rest interval for a total of 4 minutes per exercise. And it's best to use some form of a timer that can ring you through the work and rest intervals. I like to use one called Boxing Timer Pro on my phone. So we're gonna go through the exercises one at a time, starting with the first one, the wide stance, squat, and fly. So for this one here, you're gonna have your feet wide apart with your toes turned out, arms together in front. You're gonna push your hips back and bend at the knees to squat down as low as you comfortably can. Stand up and swing the arms apart, stretching out the chest and then tightening up those mid-back muscles, particularly the ones between the shoulder blades. In real time, the exercise is gonna look like this. And I really want you to focus on pushing the chest up and out and squeezing those shoulder blades together at the top. Here's how it looks from the side. As a progression, you would pause in the bottom of the squat and do the fly from that position. So it'll look like this. That bottom pause makes it much more intense on the lower body. A further progression would be to do this holding dumbbells in hand. So you could do the top fly with dumbbells in hand, or you could do the bottom fly with dumbbells in hand. The dumbbells in hand is really going to work the shoulders big time, the deltoids. Okay, moving on to exercise number 2. Number 2 is a hand plank with crossover knee-ins. Now, you're going to be on your hands and feet in a push-up position. I just want to show you from the upright position what you're going to be doing with your knee. You're going to be bringing your knee up and across to the opposite elbow, up and across to the opposite elbow, okay? So you're going to be on hands and feet like this. Bring that knee forward and across to the opposite elbow. I don't expect you to touch that opposite elbow unless you had crazy long knees. But I expect you to make the effort of going as far as you can in order to then work the targeted muscle groups. Now, a progression of this. First of all, if that is too hard, and it might be for some people, then just put your hands up on a bench and do it that way there, okay? And if a bench is still too hard, use a high ledge. Now, to make it more challenging, I'm going to have you hold yourself up on your knuckles, on your fists, like this, okay? Bringing opposite knee to opposite elbow. And then as a further progression, you take those fists and you have them side by side like this. So this gives you less stability. So you're going knee to elbow, and it's really going to challenge you and tip you a little bit more when you have that narrow base of support. So that is the hand plank crossover knee-ins. Now we're going on to knee kick lunges. For the knee kick lunges, I want you to set up beside a wall so you can lean into it sideways if you need to, if you're losing your balance. In this case, I'm going to use a bench, but the point is I want you to have something. Now, standing with your feet together side by side, you're going to take a big, huge step 2 to 3 feet behind you, then bend the knees to lunge down. Then you bring that knee up in front, bring it back behind you, and repeat. Like this. Now, you can hold onto the wall the whole time or the bench, whatever you need to, if you have to for balance. Another thing you can do, if it's really challenging for you, you can stop in the middle like this, just tap, knee up, tap, reverse lunge, tap, knee up, tap. So you can touch the ground with your moving leg as much as needed to maintain balance. However, if you want to progress the movement, then one of the best ways to do it is to take a dumbbell and hold it in the bow tie position. See how it looks like a little bow tie? I'm holding the end plates and it's in front of the chest, and I would just go like this. Then knee up, reverse lunge, knee up, reverse lunge, knee up. This is a fantastic exercise for working the core when you're holding that dumbbell up, because your core has to, the whole trunk has to remain firm so you're not tipping. It works the glutes, thighs, single leg balance, hip flexors. It's gonna be a big bang exercise and work many muscle groups at once. The next one we're gonna be doing is a countertop push-up. Now, for a countertop push-up, it's basically an inclined push-up, and there's various levels of difficulty. So if you're more of a beginner exerciser, then I'm gonna have you use a wall. So you'd have your hands on a wall with your heels up. Now you're gonna bend the elbows down and out at a 45-degree angle like this. Not directly out to the side, not tight to your ribs, but kind of halfway in between, okay? So you bring the elbows down and out to bring your face close to the wall, press off, and repeat. Keeping the rest of your body straight like an ironing board. Now, a further progression is to use some sort of a high incline. So I might, for example, use this here, this mini fridge, or you might use a firm table or a countertop, and you could do it off of something like this, okay, bringing your chest to the edge. A further progression would be to use something a little bit lower. So I might use this exercise bench. This is now more advanced. And once again, I bring my chest down to the bench, push up, and repeat. We want to go at some form of an incline, because an incline forces your trunk to work as well to prevent your body from caving out in a sloppy fashion. So it compels the core muscles to fire, which is why we want to do some form of an incline. The lower the incline, the harder it's going to be on the upper body, but we don't want to take this to the floor because we do want to get some additional ab training benefit here. A progression on any of these variations, you could do a triple pump at the bottom. So it looks like this. You go all the way down, up an inch, down, up an inch, down, up an inch, down, all the way up. So you see 1, 2, 3 pumps up, 1, 2, 3 pumps up. So that would be a progression. You could apply that from the standing push-up variation, the high ledge, or the bench. A further progression is to do a little bit of a mini hand jump at the top, where you kind of throw your body just about an inch or so off the surface. So I'm going to do that with the bench. So you're going to see my hands jump up just about an inch off the bench. Now, that variation is really going to work you hard, because that's a push-up variation that's used and very popular in pro athletic circles. So that's the way the pro athletes train. Just be mindful of elbow, wrist, and shoulder sensitivities if you're going to try that plyometric variation where you do the hand jump. It's not for everybody. Now, the next exercise is going to be X hops. This is going to be great for the calves. It's great for the foot and ankle stabilizers. And it's going to work a little bit of the inner and outer thighs. So what you do here is this. You're standing like so. Now you're going to hop and cross one foot in front and across the other. Hop back to center, then cross the other leg in front this time. Back to center. So it looks like this. You're crossing them over, alternating which one is in front. Okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could make this much harder by taking that heavy dumbbell that you used for the lunge progression and you hold it in front of your chest. Okay? So you could do it like this. That would be a progression. Now, some people can't hop because you might have feet and ankles that are very sensitive right now. Maybe your knees, hips, back. Something is just not agreeing with that movement. So the low impact alternative I want you to use, if that's you, is high knee marching on the spot. So it looks like this, as quick as you can. Just because we want to get the heart rate up, I want you to tap the opposite hand to the opposite knee, okay? And you go as quick as you can. And you do that for 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off as an alternative. Now, the next exercise is the disco side bend. This one's very technical, so we're going to go through it slowly, and I want you to pay very close attention to everything I do here. So we have to get into the right stance. I'm going to step one foot out to the side. Now, I'm going to take this left foot, and I'm pointing it directly out to the side, out there. Now I'm going to take the other foot, and I'm going to turn it in 45 degrees. So it's pointing in at an angle, whereas this foot's pointing directly out to the side. This is in between, 45 degrees now. This arm, the palm, is forward. This arm, the palm, is forward. So both palms are forward. Keep your knees locked. No knee bending allowed. Lower the back of the bottom palm to the inside of the ankle. Stand up tall and repeat. So you're pushing your hip out to the side and back to fold forward, bringing the back of your hand down to the inside of the ankle. Just like this, okay? Remember, I'm initiating the movement like I'm getting karate chopped in the hips. Don't do this and then try to just bend all the way forward and reef on your spine. You want to make it almost somewhat of a hip hinge, in which folding forward with the body is a secondary afterthought. But you're initiating the movement by chopping your hips back. You are going to feel this one in the sides. Even if you just do the bodyweight variation, it's going to really profoundly work those lateral core muscles. Quadratus lumborum, the obliques, everything in the side is going to get an excellent workout here. There are some progressions you can do. One progression is to take a dumbbell and hold it in the bottom arm. Okay? That is a progression. A more advanced progression is to take a dumbbell and now hold it in the top arm. Okay? Both are very advanced. There are sometimes some people have sensitive spines. And any side bending motion like this, if you suspect it might irritate your spine, then I want you to do side planks instead. So for the side plank, you just lay on your side, you lift your hips up. I want you to hold for 20 seconds. Take your hand, cut the bottom shoulder, lower back down and repeat. Hips up, hold for 20 seconds, lower back down and repeat. And my feet are about a fist distance apart. They're not stacked. They're like that, a fist distance apart, okay? So you would do side planks instead if you have a sensitive spine. Now, the final exercise here is T rotations. T rotations are all about working those muscles in between the shoulder blades, the mid-back muscles. For this one here, you'd be on all fours, okay? Ankles flexed, toes tucked under. Now, you're gonna have one palm forward, okay, right here. Then you're gonna arc this arm all the way up and around, following it with your head and eyes. Then back down. And you really wanna initiate the movement from between the shoulder blades. The arm is just going along for the ride. Okay? As a progression, you could hold on to a light dumbbell here. That's one progression. A bodyweight progression you could do is to do this in a bent forward position. So I usually just bend the knees, push your hips back, hands are resting on the knees. That lets you know the starting position, and then you would just go like this. Okay? Just from the front, it'll look like that. That's a little bit more of a progression. Now I'm bracing myself with this hand on the knee. If I put that hand on the crease of the hip, now I'm working a lot more muscle, because now I'm working all the low back in addition to the upper back with the shoulder blades that are going together. And of course the progression here would be to do any of these variations with the dumbbell. So that concludes Leonardo da Pinchy. This workout, if you can pinch an inch, this is all about sculpting you into a masterpiece. It's a great fat loss workout. It can be done easily on a beach without the weights for any of the progressions. You could just do this just primarily body weight, take it anywhere when you travel, or do it as a great home workout. Leonardo da Pinchy, Tabata workout.